seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, yo? Welcome back to another video. It's Anish. I'm joined with Drew, and today we're going to be going over some signings the Texans have made. We're kind of a bit late on some of these signings, so please forgive us, but we're going to go ahead and talk about two players that we added to the roster, and those are DeSean Hamilton and Royce Freeman. And before we begin, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more Texans content. We're going to be making a lot of cool videos in the upcoming days. As the draft is quickly approaching us. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And so let's just start with DeSean Hamilton. We signed him on March 29th, and I believe it's a one-year deal. I'm not sure like how much it cost, but DeSean Hamilton, he's kind of had like a up and down career so far. He was kind of buried under the roster, like the depth chart for the Broncos, like behind guys like Cortland Sutton, of course, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler. So the Broncos have had a lot of wide receiver depth. So that's probably one of the reasons why he's getting like a second opportunity with the Texans. Drew, what do you think his role would be for us?
Yeah, so with his skill set and his size, he did tend to play a little bit of outside wide receiver for the Broncos, but I think he's going to be a really good option at slot. His route running, his release packages are all very, very solid. There's a clip that we can show y'all of him in practice just absolutely breaking the defender's ankles twice. He got back up and he shook him again when he got the ball in his hand. So decent with his ball and really good agility, release, route running. Deep threat ability is there. If he's able to, continue to do that, obviously he has had some injury problems too. He did miss last season, but I like when they can start to make signings like this, low risk, high reward. Pretty excited to see what he can do. He doesn't, not necessarily saying he's going to make the roster, but I think he has a really good chance to with the skill set that he has and the talent that he has.
Yeah, 27-year-old former fourth-round draft pick. I'll play the clip that Drew was mentioning right here. Give me a second. All right, so here it is. And be sure to follow Drew at In-Depth Texans. Always provides great content. So breaks this guy's ankle. He kind of slips, but still like kind of. So yeah, that's just like kind of a sneak peek. Obviously, you can't glean so much. You can't like say like this is how he's going to be all the time. Like it's just a practice clip, but even then, it's pretty cool to see like how like putting on the moves, but yeah, DeSean Hamilton, he did have a fair share of drops. Like a lot of Broncos fans are like, get this guy off my team. But like again, like this is a nice like depth signing. Could have some upside. So great. I think it's a decent signing, like Drew said. And so the other player we're going to be talking about is Royce Freeman, and we're pretty late on this news. We signed him on March 17th. But Freeman, he's like 26 years old. He did, if y'all remember, he did like play for us this past season. He had in 7 games, he had 35 rushes for 92 yards. And then he also was used in the receiving game, 7 catches for 62 yards, 8.9 yards per catch. So I mean, like again, solid depth signing. Drew, what do you think about Royce Freeman?
Yeah, coming into the league at Oregon, many thought that he had the potential to be kind of a 3-down back, decent power back. I think he still has a lot of potential. Like he said, pretty young, he's 25 years old. He had some solid plays with the Texans. Obviously, the offensive line wasn't the best, so the fact that the Texans believe in him, they want to give him another shot, shows them that they believe they can create a good running game with some of the players they already have in the room, by just improving the scheme and the offensive line, which were by far the 2 major problems. So he definitely has potential, and I'm glad that he gets to come back, have another chance, and improve on a somewhat decent season where he looked okay in the time that he played.
Yeah, I mean, we also signed Marlon Mack, which is a really awesome signing. So it seems like the Texans have been like adding talent in some way, somehow, to the wide receiver room, running back room. I just want to ask you, Drew, do you think these signings, do you think it gives you indication that the Texans might be looking to draft a young talent at either of those positions, or they think that they might have those players as stopgaps for at least for this draft. Maybe draft one in the later rounds, maybe not address it in the earlier rounds. What do you think about like how these signings and impacting like the draft strategy?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I had some people, kind of bring this question up to me earlier this week. One guy did mention, Marlon Mack. Um, they believe that, Marlon Mack could be the running back one and that you don't necessarily need to draft a running back. Well, that's not true. These guys, Royce Freeman, Marlon Mack, DeSean Hamilton, they've had injury concerns. They've been, stuck in the of the roster. They're trying to get back up. So these are really just low risk, cheap contracts with a high reward possibility. But that should absolutely not stop you from drafting a running back. I could see us drafting a running back anywhere from Kenneth Walker at 37, possibly you see running back at 68, or maybe just more of a depth running back in the fourth or sixth round. And then in terms of receiver, we're absolutely could be addressing the receiver position. The Texans have been looking to address the receiver position. They checked in on Devontae Parker, the wide receiver from the Dolphins, who was traded to the Patriots. They're interested in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who signed with the Chiefs, who played for the Packers. So they're always looking to address those positions, talented position on offense, so they can surround Davis Mills with talent and whoever the quarterback of the future may be. So they're going to look to improve those positions. These signings do not, dictate us not drafting or signing more players at that position. They're not necessarily stopgaps. They're just, competition. That's something Nick Caserio has been preaching. Competition. He will add talent. He will get whoever the best player available he thinks there is, and will add that player as competition and as talent to the roster.
Yeah, you perfectly put it, man. And we can make another video on like draft philosophy, what we could predict what Nick Casario is thinking. But it's definitely hard to like say like what he will do because this is this like first actual draft with like a first and a second round pick. So it'll be interesting to see how Casario does with these premium picks. But that's pretty much it for the video. Let us know what you think about these signings in DeSean Hamilton and Royce Freeman. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.